No, here go the camera right here. Hello everybody, my name is Michael Corey, and this is my beautiful daughter, Michelle Corey. She's a little cranky right now. She's on her way to kindergarten, and she is the subject of my paper, my Rubik's, my speech therapy class. You want to say hi? You want to say your name? She's a little bit shy, it's a little bit early, but I will be giving examples of her speech throughout this video. I'll go back to times when we were just hanging out and she's speaking to me, but this is who she is. This is the love of my life. This is the reason I'm taking this class. This is the reason I'm doing this documentary. This is the reason it took me so long to turn this in. It's the first day. The teachers, everybody's been informed. It's a brand new day, so I was able to report back better. But in turn, I just had to wait a little longer. But I hope everybody enjoys this presentation.
You stated, you testified that there were no criminal charges against you, isn't that true?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. And isn't it true that now you are represented by an attorney in a criminal action in the city of Florida? Isn't that true?
No.
No?
No.
I don't think, yes?
No. No one's informed me of anything. No. No. Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so, in other words, when you go on to, if I were to go on to case lookup, which is from the state of Arizona Supreme Court, and find your criminal action for deportation and the incident that happened, that the order of protection is about, I won't find that you're criminally charged.
I'm not for sure. I have not been anything. No.
Michael, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Michael, so we're here today partially because you're asking for a modification of the current court orders. Is that accurate?
I didn't ask for it. Sheena did.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. And let me start with the parenting time. What would you like the parenting time orders to be in the future?
I believe I should have full custody unless Miss Corey is taking the prescribed medication, is doing the counseling. If she refuses the medication and the counseling, I believe I should have full rights and she should be under supervised visitations like she was before my false arrest in 2017.
My life is a movie, 38 with the Uzi. I'm in the slumber wondering why they plotting to shoot me. She said he got guns, they say that's all we need. They in the front, back, said. Well, at least in my head. Looking back on shit, my ex wanted me dead. Looking back on shit, that bitch wanted me dead. Now look at the time that she left. Now look at the time of the call. 3 hours and 42 minutes. I guess that means nothing at all. Freeze! Niggas strip down to your drawers. Please! I was sleeping and break no laws. Maricopa County, why you do this to me? She said you did it, plus you black, that's all we really need. So tell me what's the charge? The judge will handle that. I'll book you in, take your picture, you need to sit back. He made a couple stops, I know that's not procedure. But the wildest part of all, he was vibing the ether. Okay, now back to business, I'ma help you out. Any weapons hitting on you, I should know about. Open your mouth, tongue up and down. Bend over, spread your cheeks, now make that coughing sound. Okay, he's clean, go stand behind the line. Wait on your interview, I think you next in line. Feeling suicidal, any allergic reaction. You in the gang, what you bang, they say they need the answers. And fuck a fingerprint, they want your DNA. If you don't do it, ain't no way that you gon' leave today.
Okay, so you're asking for all the parenting time. If mom is taking her medication and doing her counseling, what should the parenting time schedule be?
She should have weekends until she
Every weekend?
she
Or
should
every weekend?
she should have every weekend until she's graduated from programs and has proven that she will consistently take the medication and follow the orders of the court.
Okay, and what about the decision-making order?
I believe I should have all decision making right.
So you would like sole legal decision-making regardless of mom's progress? And,
No, if mother does the proper work needed, then we can go to 50-50. But until that time, I believe I should have full decision making rights.
Okay, and how is your communication with mother right now? How is the email communication working?
Anytime it's anything of concern, I email her back. If it's something that she can do on her own, I leave it at that, but sometimes it's just a correspondence that doesn't need to be had. If it's of any significance or emergency or regards to Michelle, I respond.
So do you believe the court should leave the order in saying that communication should be solely by email unless there's emergency?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, now let me start with some of the incidents that we're hearing from the court for. And I want to start with the black eye incident, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you tell me the approximate date of the black eye incident when that took place?
Give me.
I said it was late in December of 2019. Would that be accurate?
Yes, sir. It was on a Friday.
Okay, now can you explain the events leading up to the incident?
I actually have it right here in front of me.
What happened?
On December 20th, 2019, the courts, I came in for an emergency appeal because I thought that my child was being taken out of state to go visit parent. So the judge gave me the court order saying I got back my 50-50 rights. I went to the daycare to pick Michelle up. Upon picking Michelle up at like 7 o'clock, we go back to the house and we're just playing. It's time for bed. I wash her face and it is revealed that she has a healing black eye. At approximately like 10:15, I called the police and they came over and they gave me a report for 240C child abuse with a black eye. That Friday. That following Monday, I took her to a regular doctor.
Okay, did you contact mom before you called the police?
No.
Any reason you didn't call her before you called the police?
One is because I hadn't had the child for 2 months, and when I got her, the black eye was covered with makeup. So it was.
Okay, now you said you took her to the doctor after you discovered the black eye.
I took her to the doctor that Monday. To her regular
How
doctor.
many days later was that?
That would be 3, 4, almost a complete 4. Friday, I found out about the eye. Monday is when I took her in.
Okay, what doctor did you take her to?
Pinnacle Family Medicine.
The name of the doctor?
I took her to Pinnacle Family
What's
Medicine.
the name of Mimi's doctor?
I do not. I'm looking for the. I do not remember the name of the doctor, but it's her regular doctor.
Have you taken Michelle to that doctor before?
Yes, Michelle's been going there since 2016.
Okay. Now, as a result of this doctor's visit, was a doctor's report written up?
Yes,
Okay, and that is been marked as Exhibit 4. Is that correct, Your Honor? That was admitted into evidence?
Exhibit 4 has been admitted, yeah.
Okay, do you have a copy of that doctor's report in front of you, Michael?
yes, sir.
Okay, now is that exhibit a true and accurate reflection of the report that was executed that day?
Yes, when it comes to the actual consultation and things, but past history, those were already general things that were in there.
Okay. Now, was the doctor given any context of the situation before he or she conducted this evaluation?
No, sir.
Okay. Was the doctor asked if the injury sustained was consistent with an injury indicating child abuse?
Yes, I gave the doctor the initial police report and said I was just coming in to make sure that everything was okay because mother had stated the week before that Michelle had missed an entire week of school and that she was sick and that I just wanted the doctor to check her eye and to make sure that Michelle was okay physically.
So I guess my question is, did you ask the doctor if the injury was consistent with a child abuse injury?
No.
Okay. Why didn't you ask the doctor if it looked like a child abuse injury?
Because it was a clear black eye. I just wanted to make sure that there was no additional bruising. And given the doctor the police report, I didn't feel I would have to say that because the police report says black eye and child abuse.
Okay. Did the doctor's office report the injury at all to the Department of Child Safety?
I'm not for sure, but they did say they were going to do something, but I'm not for sure what they did.
Okay. Did the doctor's report indicate the severity of the injury at the time of the visit?
Yes.
Okay, and what did the doctor's report indicate?
It was a mild intensity.
Okay. Did the doctor's report indicate that the injury indicated that there were any aggravating factors?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, as a result of this visit with the doctor and filing the police report, did you file any documents to modify the current parenting time and decision-making orders as a result of this incident?
I believe I may have attempted or tried.
Okay. Now, given the conclusions made in the doctor report,
Because based on what the daycare had said and what mother had said, and me not having her, I felt that it was mother trying to cover up a bigger issue of abuse.
Okay, a little bit ago I asked you if you asked mother about it, and then you said no. And now you're saying that you did talk to mother about the incident.
No. I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't say I talked to mother. I didn't say I talked to mother. I'm saying based on her not going to school for that entire week. Only reason I found that out is because I went to the daycare to pick her up, and they informed me that Michelle had not been there the entire week. And then mother said she didn't work the entire week and that Michelle was sick, but she didn't take Michelle to the doctor. So I was like, what's going on?
So since you thought that Michelle was out from school for a week, you thought it was child abuse. Is that what you're saying?
I thought it was mother trying to cover up child abuse or possible child abuse.
Okay. Did you talk to mother? But you never talked to mother about the black eye or how it occurred.
She should have.
I sent her a email afterwards, and then Nina responded with,
What was her response?
well, Nina responded back that if the child has a black eye, I did it.
Okay. Now, did you give the doctor any contextual information concerning the child's family history at the time of that appointment?
I don't remember, but the doctor already had mother's past history.
Had mother ever been to that doctor before? Has she ever taken Mimi to that doctor before?
Michelle's been going there since 2016, so she might have possibly... No, because I didn't start Michelle going there until we entered mother into rehab. Right after mother entered rehab is when Michelle started going to that doctor because we wanted to make sure that she didn't have any meth in her system.
Okay, did you disclose your past history of drug abuse and mental health issues to this doctor?
At what point?
I'm asking you if you ever disclosed your history of drug abuse or mental health issues to Mimi's doctor.
No.
Okay.
Because mine were one time,
The family history.
because it was a one-time incident.
That's your answer. That's okay. Okay, now, so under the family history section of that doctor's report, on page 1 of 3, it says family history, father is healthy, and then under mother it says drug abuse, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia.
Yes, sir.
Is there any reason why mother's section contains those past issues and under your section omits all these past issues?
Because during the time of the original divorce decree, like I stated, I only done drugs during celebrations like New Year's, birthday, and at no point during any of my psychiatric evaluations did they consider that drug abuse. And then my suicide was a one-time attempt, was a one-time mental lapse. Like I didn't do these drugs every day. I didn't know about it. I didn't know that she was doing the drugs. She was literally doing drugs every day while breastfeeding. Like I stated during the divorce decree, like I've stated all the time, I only did drugs on special occasions. And at no point did they tell me that.
So let me reword the question, I guess. Do you believe that the family history section of this report accurately reflects past history for both mother and father?
Yes, sir. I do.
Okay. And you were responsible for giving the doctor this information, that's correct?
Yes, but Sheena started seeing that doctor in, she started taking Michelle to the doctor in 2017. At any point she could have provided more history.
All right, let me move on to the sexual abuse allegations. Okay, you also alleged child is sexually abused while in the mother's care, is that correct?
Michelle has stated that she's been abused.
And you made those allegations in this court, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me
The last incident, it's really hard to speak about because Michelle said she did something I just don't like saying, and after that, it was just it's just hard to talk about because unless Michelle is raped, everything will be unsubstantiated, and I just don't even like saying.
Let me steer you to this. You made an allegation that some of Mother's other children have inappropriately touched Michelle. Is that correct?
According to her.
According to Michelle, yes, that is correct.
Okay. And can you describe the events leading up to this discovery?
She was talking.
The first time, it's usually as soon as I get Michelle on the drive home, or at some point during that first day, she'll just out of the blue say some stuff, and then that'll be it.
Okay. Well, I'm specifically referring to the most recent one. I think it's with the Tyrese. Is that the name of one of the children?
Yes.
Okay. Can you explain the events leading up to that allegation? How that was discovered? The one with Tyrese.
Michelle just told me.
And she told you when you picked her up from Mother's house after she'd been at your home for a while. When did she tell you?
Each time Michelle has disclosed something to me, it was after prolonged time with Mother. One time was after 2 weeks. The next time was after 2 months.
All right. Now, once Michelle disclosed this information to you, did you contact Mother about the allegations?
After the first 2 times that incidents happened, I contacted Mother and she was in total denial. After that, I didn't because it was impossible to communicate. The first time was Michelle had told me after I picked her up from daycare that somebody named Ty or Trey was hitting her and touched her. I conveyed that to Mother through emails. I even talked to the school about it. The school said they had no idea. And Mother made this grandiose lie about how she had talked to the school and all this. And then the next time I asked her about it was when I received Michelle, and she said that Sean had touched her, and then Mother said she didn't want to talk about it and that she would see me in court. So after those 2 incidences, it made it really hard for me to be able to talk to Mother about anything that Michelle said when it came to allegations of that nature.
Did you talk to Mother about it? Did you decide then to contact law enforcement about it?
DCS, police, or go to, when she told me about the incident, I took her directly to the emergency room. She said she had bumps, that mom...
Did you contact law enforcement about it, Michael?
I never contacted law enforcement. During the black eye, yes.
Did law enforcement eventually get involved?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, was a forensic interview conducted with me as a result of the allegation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And after the forensic interview was conducted, were any charges brought against any of the alleged perpetrators?
No, sir.
Did you have contact with Detective Scott Horton during these investigations?
I sent him an email, yes, sir, and a text message.
Okay. Now, did Detective Horton tell you that a medical examination was completed as part of his investigation?
He wasn't the first one.
He wasn't there for the medical examination because the actual hospital, when I took Michelle to St. Joseph's, they called him.
Michael, hold on. The question was just, did he tell you that a medical examination was completed?
No, he wasn't involved with that. He wasn't there for that.
But did he tell you that there was one that was completed, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, but he wasn't there for it.
Okay. All right. Let me pull your attention to what's marked as Exhibit 3. Your Honor, I don't know if Exhibit 3 has been submitted to evidence or not. It's the DC. It's a copy of some of the DCF records in the case.
I believe so. Let me double check with Tiffany though. Tiffany, has Exhibit 3 been admitted? Yep. Okay, thank you. Yes, Exhibit 3 admitted.
Michael, do you have Exhibit 3 in front of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you turn to page 28 of Exhibit 3?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the second to last paragraph, that last sentence there, can you read that last sentence of the second to last paragraph?
Detective Horton also reported that a medical examination was completed, but it was cleared as no condition was observed.
He wasn't there. I was there.
Okay, did he report to you that the medical examination report is in a cleared observation?
No, we didn't talk about it because I was me and my mother were at the hospital when they cleared everything and we left. I already knew. And that's when they told me, unless she's raped, we're not going to be able to prove nothing because Michelle had reported that mother was putting some type of cream on her. She didn't say that she was penetrated. She said that she was touched and rubbed.
Okay. Now, as part of Detective Horton's investigation, he also concluded that the child had been coached to make misleading statements. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now let me.
But that was only after they gave
Let's read the next page over.
Mm-hmm.
One more page over. Okay. Now there's a middle paragraph that starts on 10/8/2019 at 9:30. Do you see that middle paragraph there?
Yes.
Okay. Can you read that middle paragraph, please?
On 10/8/19 at 9:30 a.m., this worker, Ryan Clark, spoke with Detective Horton. Detective Horton reported that he has completed a forensics interview with the children, Tyrese Buckner and Sean Buckner, at their schools regarding the allegations of the report. Detective Horton reported that he believed that the statement from the child, Michelle Corey, were the results of coaching by her father, Michael Corey. Detective Horton reported that Tyrese and Sean were credible during their interview and reported instances of Michael trying to coach them to say that their mother's friend sexually molested them. Detective Horton stated that Michael has made false allegations against both boys presently and also in the past.
Okay. Now, Detective Horton also conclude that he thought you were problematic and that you had a history and pattern of lying or trying to induce false claims about sex abuse.
Only after he talked to the boys, who mother had 2 weeks to coach them to get him to think that way. During this same report, they gave her 2 weeks notice before they would decide to talk to her. So if you give somebody 2 weeks notice.
So Michael, hold on. Is it safe to say that you disagree with Detective Horton's conclusion?
100%, sir, because based on him not having all the information, based on mother and the boys saying that they have never been molested, they've never been touched, she is not a victim of incest, and that she is clean from drugs, I believe that they conspired together to come up with a story to convince Detective Horton that I was the problem.
Michael, I have your answer. You disagree. I have your answer. Okay, let me talk about the third allegation of prostitution or escorting allegations you have against mother. You also alleged that she's been recently involved in these escorting services. Is that correct?
It was an ad, and it was concerned. That's why I sent it to Detective Horton the day before he interviewed them.
Okay. Can you give the court a general timeline as to when you believe these activities were taking place?
I'm thinking during the week that Michelle was missing from school or any time up until December. I'm not for sure when it was. All I know is mother was calling the house. The name was coming up something different, so I decided to Google it. Once I Googled it, that's when the escorting ads came up. Once the escorting ads came up, I sent it to the detective and the DCS workers out of concern. The only reason I even Googled it,
Michael, why were escorting calls coming to your house?
there weren't escorting calls. Mother was calling the house to speak to Michelle, but a different name was coming up. Once a different name kept coming up, Mother said, hey, you aren't picking up the phone. I was like, well, you aren't calling. And she's like, yes, I have. So once I looked at the caller ID of the house phone, it was coming up a different name. So then I decided to Google the phone number and that name, and that's when the escorting ads came up, and that's when I sent the information directly to DCS and Detective Horton.
So are you saying that you entered a stranger's phone number into the Google search engine? When you Googled it, that number was posted on an escorting ad, and that's how it popped up?
Yes.
Any reason why the person who's receiving the services number would be on the ad that's being played?
You have not.
I have no clue. It wasn't. It was just it was a different name under the same number that Mother has been using for the last 3 years. That was the only reason I Googled it, because I was like, what's going on? Why is there a different name popping up on my caller ID? So once I Googled the phone number, that's what came up. As soon as it came up, I copied it and I sent it to detective and the DCS worker.
Okay. Now, Mother's position that you're the one that was responsible for placing these ads on the internet. Are you in agreement with her assessments?
No.
No, that is impossible.
Okay. Now, in connection with this allegation, you asserted that Mother was not employed and needed to engage in these activities for economic purposes. Is that correct?
I'm not for sure if she was employed or not. I don't believe she was, because of, at the time, child support said that Mother Social Security number had not popped up since August as working anywhere. And that wasn't based on me talking to Mother. That was based on child support telling me and sending me records that Mother has not worked in any of our systems since August.
Okay. Well, at past hearings, you made the allegation that Mother's not currently employed. Is that true?
Based off of what child support had informed me of, that would be correct, sir.
Okay. Now let me direct your attention to exhibit number 5. I don't believe it's been admitted to evidence yet, Your Honor, but it's an employee attendance report that I submitted that I obtained from Mother's current employer with the employee employment information redacted.
It has been admitted.
Okay, has been admitted. Okay. Now, Michael, have you had a chance to review these attendance reports from July 2019, June 2019 to February 2020?
Once looking at that document, it looked.
Have you had a
Just-
chance to?
Yes,
review them?
yes.
That's what I want to know. Yes, okay. Do these reports cover the time period where you discovered these advertisements online?
Yes.
Okay. Now, does your review of these reports change your position that Mother was not employed during this time period?
No, sir.
Okay. So, do you have a reason to doubt the authenticity of these records? Is that what you're saying? You don't think they're real?
Yes, sir. I do not think that they're real. They don't add up. They don't look like any work record that I've ever received, that I've ever seen. I've been a boss. I have done payroll. I have done time evaluations. I've done all these things, and I've never seen an incomplete document like that. That looks like a cut and paste word put together by somebody. It doesn't follow. The times don't add up correctly. Nothing.
Now, Michael, if I told you I was directly in contact with the Human Resources Officer of Mother's employment and that's found out these records, would that change your opinion at all?
Yes.
Okay. Now let me wrap up by just talking about the mental health treatment that you've been
Yes, sir.
Okay, and when did you do your intake?
2 years.
My initial intake was over 2 years ago. The one I did after the judge suggested it was at the end of December.
Okay, and you did your intake with Tara, is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's where I've been going for over 2 years now.
Okay, now I know we've already kind of gone over this report a little bit, but it's Exhibit 2. You have Exhibit 2 in front of you, your psychiatric evaluation details.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now was all the information you provided in that intake to your doctor, is that all true and accurate?
Yes, sir. There was only one thing that was off, and that's when I talked about the drug use. I thought he was talking about currently. Are there any drugs?
Okay, you do realize, and let me direct your attention to the second to last paragraph. Okay, the second to last sentence, did you realize that it says that you denied any history of substance use and disorder in that sentence? Did you realize that's what's reflected there?
Yes, because I thought it was a continuation of my initial report from 2 years ago. That was the only reason for that.
Okay, now let me, can you turn the page over to the second page? You know the pages aren't numbered, the one right behind that. So I guess it would be page 2. The last paragraph of page 2, after it says you have a medical marijuana card. You see that paragraph?
Yes.
Now that second sentence, it also says you denied any illicit substance use. Is that correct? Is that what it says on that report?
Yes, sir, because I thought we were talking about the current time that I was doing the interview. I thought we were discussing that time. Because like I said, I've been going there for 2 years.
Okay. Do you have the methamphetamine patch? Is that accurate?
I have used it. Have I used it in the last, since my suicide attempt? No. Before my suicide attempt, had I used it since the divorce or since I put in the initial divorce paper in 2016? No, I hadn't. That was a complete marriage, relationship, special occasion thing. And I admit at the time I was an enabler, and that was my fault.
Okay. And have you, since then, divulged this information to your doctor and Taro since then?
They already knew why I was there because I initially came to Teros because of the suicide attempt. So they knew initially that I had done a drug and that it was a one-time thing. And that's why I said that was my fault during the confusion because I had been going there for 2 years and I've graduated through 4 different programs and I thought this was just a continuation, not a new evaluation. Like I just thought it was just a continuation of what I was doing.
Okay, I understand. Do you think it is important for your treatment professionals at Teros to have a true and accurate picture of your full psychiatric and substance history?
But they do. And they always have.
Okay, so you did. Okay. Now, what were the final recommendations of this intake process?
To continue my counseling like I have been for the last two plus years.
Now, would that counseling include individual counseling services as well as group counseling services?
Yes, sir. That's because I chose those.
Have you followed up on these recommendations, Michael?
Yes, sir. I haven't missed anything. I've continued to go even during this coronavirus incident. I've continued with my group and individual. I've continued with everything.
Okay. Have you filed any evidence of the enrollment in the services or the continuation of these services with the court for today's proceeding?
No, sir. I have no excuse for the bad internet connection. I tried to get my counselor to call in today, but she was unavailable for appointments. But at any time, I can go and have those sent over immediately to you. I have not missed anything. I'm still calling in.
Okay, I have no further questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Corey, is there anything else that you would like to testify to in response to the questions that were asked of you from Mr. Cosby and Ms. Editon?
The only thing that I would like to state or say is that throughout all this, the only thing that I am truly sorry for is not knowing that this was considered a new evaluation and just for presuming that this was all part of my 2-year plus evaluation. At no point did I ever try to hide what I had done, but what I did, I was never an addict. I never did anything. I never relied on anything. And I've divulged that to my counselors. Everything was a one-time incident, and I haven't done anything of that nature since that suicide attempt. Since my suicide attempt, that was the biggest eye-opening event of my life. It made me realize I didn't love myself. I was only worried about other people and their happiness. And once I started to love myself, I was able to love my daughter and move forward to a higher level. Because I couldn't truly love her until I loved myself. And now everything I do is for the betterment of her. And I do apologize if it made it seem like I had never done anything. I just never had a problem with it, and I let them know consistently. And I do apologize for that.
Okay. Closing arguments, and please tell the court exactly what it is you want the court to order. Ms. Editon. Thank you, Your Honor. I would like the court, if you'll give me 1 minute, I would like the court to order to continue and Ms. Corey has all the decision-making. I would like to ask the court to ensure that Mr. Corey only has supervised parenting time. I would ask the court that Mr. Corey remain the vexatious litigant. I would ask the court to make certain that Mr. Corey gets some sort of consistent counseling, and perhaps a psychosexual, because I'm concerned about all of these false allegations. I would like the court to award attorney fees. I would like the court to, if the court does order that Corey only has limited supervised counseling temporarily, I would like all child support orders to suspended. There is now a 4D case, and I would like because of the fact that they have had many times when mothers have full responsibility and still paying child support. And Mr. Corey is, in fact, employed and was not employed at the time that the child support order was entered in.
Yes, Your Honor. I would like.
Mr. Corey?
Oh, sorry, I hit the wrong button. I'm sorry. I would like sole decision making and authority. I would like mother to be ordered to have supervised parenting time at a center for at least 5 years. I would like mother and all of her children to be drug tested. I would like mother to undergo counseling for incest for at least 5 years. Mother to undergo counseling for drug and alcohol abuse for at least 5 years. Mother to have 5 years of group and individual therapy. I would also like criminal charges for conspiracy to cover up child abuse to be placed on mother and opposing counsel. I would also like contempt of court to be put on mother and opposing counsel for hiding discoveries and not disclosing all information. And I would also, anything else that the court deems just.
Okay. Mr. Cosby, do you have any recommendations for the court?
Sure, Your Honor. I'll go through generally what I am thinking. I mean, I think this is a really difficult case. It's kind of hard to piece together what's really happening here, but I mean, there's some limited evidence that I have that I'm working off of, so all I can do is look for that evidence to kind of inform my decision. My inclination is to award mother sole legal decision making and to give father some sort of limited parenting time every other weekend as long as paternal grandmother supervises that parenting time and continues communication to be email communication only unless there's an emergency. Maybe there could be like a text message or a phone call or something. The basis of my recommendation of kind of just the inconsistency in all these allegations that seem to be supported by the inconsistency and all the evidence that I've received and looked over it a long time, trying to comb through it, just trying to kind of get to the bottom of the truth of what's happened. The first, evidence I was looking at was this doctor's report from the incident with the black eye, which just seemed like, it could have been an abrasion that was received, playing at the daycare facility, or something like that. It seemed to be a minor abrasion, and then the fact that in the doctor's report that there seems to be this, I guess for lack of a better term, fixation content to the doctor's report where his father is the only one reporting to the doctor what's happening. It just seems strange that all of mother's family history and personal history in this doctor's report, so a doctor she's never mentioned, is extremely negative. Father's painted in a positive light, and then as a result of the doctor's report, it seems to be the doctor came to the conclusion that this was a minor abrasion. There was no big deal. Doesn't seem to have been reported to DCS for child abuse. And as a result of this, father filed for an immediate modification of parenting time. It just seems strange to me that that would be a person's reaction to such a minor incident. As far as the sexual abuse allegations, I looked through the DCS records to try to get a better feel for the professionals who looked into that sexual abuse allegation. Obviously, I'm not a professional forensic investigator. I can't look into this stuff, but I can read the reports. And from the DCS report, it seems like those detectives that were involved in the investigation, along with the DCS workers who conducted these personal interviews, or professionals that looking at these interviews came to the conclusion going on with the child. The medical examiners didn't find any evidence of sexual abuse, and also the detectives kind of came to the conclusion that father father has said he would like to do, but out of a place just to cause problems and to stir up unnecessary issues in this case. And so I kind of default to the detective and the DCS workers and what they wrote in their report. It seems to be more inconsistent allegations with no support behind them. And that's just a problem because it causes a lot of family drama. It causes us to come to this court over and over again. The second time it's been appointed to this case, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of substance behind the allegations as far as I can tell by looking at the evidence that I've been able to receive. As far as the escorting allegations, that was the third incident that father brought up. I mean, I don't know what to make of it. It seems like, maybe he did somehow stumble across this ad. It seems a little strange to me the way he described he stumbled across this ad. I don't know if you can type in a phone number that we received on your caller ID, and that phone number would be attached to an ad that the person who's supplying the services would place. I don't know why the person receiving those services' phone number would be on an ad like that. It just seems strange. It just doesn't add up to me. The reasoning behind her needing to do these services was the father said it's because she didn't have a job. I tried to look into that. I got in contact with the human resource officer at Mother's Employment, and they said she's been working there since June of 2019. They gave me a full list of her attendance record. And I thought another thing that was really sad about those attendance records was a lot of those absences were due to her having to come to court and have to come to court constantly to fight all these allegations that may or may not be true. So I thought that was kind of unfortunate, what that revealed. It looks like both father and mother have made efforts to start their mental health treatment. I think father, what he's saying is true, is continuing to seek his treatment, which is a good thing. If he's continuing with his group sessions and his solo sessions, I think we should continue doing that. Hopefully they will help, and hopefully they'll help bury some of these issues. Mother is in the very early stages of her mental health treatment. I hope she continues on with those. But again, it seems to be like those are very early stages of those treatments. I was encouraged by all the services and activities mother has enrolled me in, including the schooling services, the different doctor services, the different therapy services. It seems like she's doing what she's supposed to be doing, trying to be a positive parent, trying to get me enrolled in school, trying to get her enrolled in the proper therapy. I'm really encouraged by the one therapy that mother said she enrolled me in, which is, off the top of my head, I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but the fact that, Mimi can go in and get her individual therapy, and mom and dad can also go in, and they can give mom and dad co-parenting skills to help work together. I thought that was positive. So I hope those therapies continue. And hopefully I'll put a lot of these problems behind them so we don't have to keep coming back to court all the time with all these allegations. Again, I feel bad with it's unfortunate that my recommendation will be reducing father's parenting time to a significant amount. But based on the evidence I've seen, it's hard for me to come to any other conclusion other than the fact that it seems like a lot of these allegations, at least based on the evidence I've seen, seem to be somewhat fabricated. It's very, very possible the father's doing everything he thinks he should be doing to protect his daughter, but just the evidence that I've received doesn't seem to necessarily back that up 100%. So if we do have to modify, I guess that would be my final recommendation, for the mother having the sole legal decision-making to continue enrolling Mimi in therapeutic services, to keep her enrolled in the academy, the mathematical and science academy she's enrolled in, to keep taking her to these doctor's appointments. And also, I don't know if it's going to help or not, but the reduced parenting time, if they're both asking for sole, based on the evidence I've seen, it just seems like it might be a better spot for me right now to be primarily with mother until both parties can improve a little bit more on their mental health treatment.
You've been hit by
Baby, you get it, but I'll get you another song.
Oh, no, please.
I'm coming.
Put it up. I don't want Mr. Cake. Put it up. That's Daddy's cake. Baking cake. That's my cake.
Are you ready?
Wait, my daddy, I'm ready. My dad, I need to have a talk to Daddy.
Sunday workout, you know what it is. Let's get it, baby. Don't swing it so much. Good right. There you go. Good job. Get it. My workout partner want to show everybody a skill. All right, let's go. Let's get it. I'm tired. Good job. One more, go. Get it. No, Evan just heard you work out. Get it. Last one, go hard, go hard. Right, all right. Good job, though.
Supervision on Tuesday.
But
So,
either way, it is now Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I am going to school at 2 different universities in order to get a bachelor's degree and an associate's degree. I am taking classroom education because my daughter has a speech problem. My goal is to become a teacher so I can end this documentary and be closer to my daughter. But what I need everybody to do is to be accountable for their actions, their words, and the things that are going on, and to not try to cover up anything. My daughter has been hurt.
We're not trying to cover up anything.
And I'm just trying to make sure. I'm just trying to make sure. My daughter has been through a lot. She still makes the craziest allegations that are all documented. My daughter has been through a lot, an extreme amount. And every time I bring something to the forefront, it's a reason to take rights away from me instead of to look at the problem. That's all I'm doing. I'm doing everything I can. I am taking speech, communication, conflict resolution. I will be getting a bachelor's degree in December just so I can possibly be a substitute teacher at wherever my daughter is going to school. I am doing everything in my power to help. And all I ask is for cooperation. That's it. That's it. If she's there, she's there. If she's not, she's not. That's all I'm asking. That's the reason I'm doing this documentary.
The confusion, I think, I'm not sure where it happened. There was never anything that was supposed to, feel offensive by Ms. Landeros' message. We were definitely just trying to reach out and let you know, that we missed the attendance form a couple weeks and,
But if my daughter is going to the school, I don't see how that is an issue. If my daughter has been going since
that
Tuesday.
just started this week is what I'm saying, Mr. Corey.
But it's now Friday. I also own a small business. I know how to take care of paperwork. So the school is
the form. Can I tell you real quick? The form itself only comes out on Fridays, and so we just started this past Tuesday, and so we're not talking about the form for this week. She is totally safe and calm, and everything is great here on campus.
So what was that video today?
What has happened?
So what was that video today? What was the video posted today? That's what I'm asking.
Just a second. Hang on one second. So what I'm saying is that the messages that she was sending today was about previous packets and previous attendance forms not being completed.
Which I'm saying should have been taken. Mother should have known that and taken care of that when she was coming to the school, sending pictures of Michelle holding packets.
Ms. Landeros' fault. Ms. Landeros has been reaching out And so she sent you the same message that she sent Mom. She sent the same one.
And therefore, I sent back my concerns because of Mother's past and because of the actions and because of what Ms. Darrow said. That's why I proceeded the way I did.
I think the thing we have to remember is that Ms. Landeros cannot pick a side between you and Mom.
I am not asking her to pick a side. That is not what I'm asking.
Ms. Landeros is here to be able to teach Michelle and to make sure that she is getting the education that she needs. And so she is going to, communicate with you and Mom in the same manner to make sure that you both have all the information.
And I'm just trying to make sure that my daughter is actually where she is said to be. Like, my question is, where did that video come from today that popped up? Was that at the school?
Does not compute.
Which video are you talking about?
That popped up in the doodle when I was asking where my daughter was. A random video popped up in her profile. Is that of her at the school? I'm trying to figure out where that video come from because the video popped up at the time.
Probably. If it was from Ms. Landeros, yeah.
No, it wasn't from Miss. It wasn't from Miss Landeros. It was from some other lady who doesn't say who she is.
From me?
No, from some other lady in my daughter's profile. At the same time, I'm asking where she's at. It just popped up.
I'm not sure what video it is, but I can check with Ms. Landeros.
And it's just one of those things where if I'm asking where my daughter is since 11:30, like, hey, so my daughter's there, and nobody wants to answer me until almost 4.
So Ms. Landeros said yes. She said she was here. Because I spoke with Ms. Landeros, and she shared with me your concern. And then I told her, yes, it took us some time to figure out that you were confused about the start date of on-site school versus on-campus school. And so then once we figured out that you weren't aware that there was on-site supervision starting on Tuesday, because we thought that you would have already known that. So now that we know that you didn't know that, that's good information for us to know. Mm-hmm. So that's when she responded at 11:06 and said, yes, she's at on-site supervision that began on Tuesday. So that answer did come through.
All right. If that is the quote and that is the message that I am receiving, then everything is my fault. I am delusional, and never mind all that. It was all my fault, and I do apologize. I do apologize. Do forgive me. Nope. It's okay. It's okay. It is my fault. 100%. It is my fault. And I do apologize for wasting everyone's time with my petty concerns and problems. I'm so sorry. Please have a nice day.
Okay, have a good weekend.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Sweet song singing, take me back. Wanna go. Sweet song singing, take me back. Wanna go. Sweet song singing, take me back.
All right, now as a result, today is actually, wait baby, it is actually October 9th, the end of my class. I haven't been able to do this because I was doing mine in real life. The major result from everything that I've been doing, from me being able to say that I was even in your class, is that her speech therapist and her school are now all on the same page. Thanks to my documentary, the school actually gave me my daughter's collaborative scenario, her rubrics. They gave me everything about what's going on. Even though the courts took away all my rights, the documentary in this class gave me rights in the eyes of her speech therapist and in her school. So once I got those two on the same page, now it has been 3 weeks. This is October 9th. My daughter is with me because she doesn't have school today, and this is my weekend, which turns out perfectly. One of the major results is that she now gets additional help from her teacher at the end of lunch. So at the end of lunch, her lunch ends 10 minutes early, just so her and her teacher can personally go over some of her letters, punctuation, sounding out, things of that nature. Right now, I'm going to give you an example of her slurred speech and some of her difficulties. She's going to do her ABCs, and let's go. Hey, Mimi, can you do your ABCs for me? Let's go. Look at me. All right. As you see, she has a little bit of slurred speech. She has a few problems. Oh, yeah, I know you love slime. So I am going to make sure that everybody pays attention, everybody helps, and that she is on track to be a successful, positive, productive individual, and that's all I can ask for. I love this class for one reason. It gave me the power to approach everybody. It gave me knowledge that I didn't have before, and I hope that you see through my video presentation that I understood the class. I used the class for, I believe, could have been the best purpose of all. I actually got my daughter the help that you're teaching us to get for students. I took this class with one thing and one purpose in mind, and that was to see how could I use this class to help my daughter, and it helped out in ways I could never imagine. And for that, I want to thank you. I hope that I graduate. I hope that I pass. I hope that you see that I was really learning, and I hope you appreciate this video. Thank you so much, and have a blessed day.